Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on 8. I got this old used gun. The old used gun I got today is a wreack. Yeah, that's right, an REC. The wreck, I said I spoke too soon. Earlier this year, I did a benchtop shooting review of a wreck 22 single shot Butler style Derringer. And I stated that wreck was out of business and had been out of business for a while. Wreck is not so much in the firearms import business now, but they're still in business in Europe, and they manufacture mostly starter pistols, blank firing replica guns. They do some 22 pistols, but they're not currently available in the United States. In the past, at the end of World War II, the wreck company was a contract manufacturer for firearms production, machine tool production, and so forth. At the end of the war, in the late 1940s, early 1950s, they started back up in the gun business, and they manufactured, this is what we call a contract manufacturer. They would make firearms for specific companies to import them under their name. And this is one of them. This was imported into the United States somewhere in the late 1950s, early 1960s. It is a standard single action 22 long rifle, German made, mid quality, handgun. And this was the sort of thing, and they produced, several handguns for several different people that were selling guns. I've seen the wreck single action revolver with Sears and Roebuck on it, Ted Williams. I've seen it with Western Auto and so forth. And this particular one is a Herters gun, imported by, or it's marked Herters, and Herters imported a lot of firearms, and they bought a lot of sporterized Mausers, and they converted to 30-06 and 308 and 270 and 243 and so forth in the 1960s, the late 50s, early 60s. They imported a lot of firearms under their name that were manufactured by contract manufacturers, and this is one of them. So we're going to try and shoot this old gun right here because, it is kind of a novelty gun, being a Herters import gun and being a wreck and no longer being imported in the United States. We're going to load this gun up and see how it actually shootifies. It's just a standard single action 22 long rifle. It has recessed cylinders, which is really nice. It has floating firing pin. It has no external safety. Half cock or quarter cock would be your only safety on this gun. And like that. Now we're gonna shoot 6 right here. Believe it or not, I got to the range and didn't have any 22 ammo, and wound up with what I had there in that little can, which was 11 rounds. But 11 rounds ought to get us down the road. All right, let's see how she goes. Lay her up here like this. Get back here where we can see it. 11 rounds. Wow, we're really killing it now. 11. I can see that bullet hole down there. It's excellent. It's a nice shooting little gun. This gun is a gun from a local member of our community around here in Bergen that saw one of my videos and said, "Well, I got an old gun you can take out to the range and show off." And that's where this comes from. Okay. Now let's unloadify that gun. Or discalodin it. Let's get standard, just like any other 22 cowboy gun from the era. All right, now, let's talk about this. This gun does not have any type of onboard safety. It does not have a transfer bar. It does not have a lever safety over here on it like a Heritage Rough Rider would have. There's no safety. When this gun is completely down on the firing pin, you could drop it, it hit on the firing pin and fire the gun. Okay, now, it has a very nice, adequate quarter cock notch that acts as a safety. If you can remember to put it on there. Now, what's the safest way to carry a single action revolver? Well, the safest way to carry a single action revolver, especially of this type, is what's called 5 beans in the wheel, or an empty chamber under the hammer. Now, how do we get there from here without taking the gun apart and loading it up and then trying to put it back together? Well, I've demonstrated this 100 times. I'm going to do it again. The way you get 5 beans in the wheel with a single action revolver is first, load your first cylinder. Boop, like that. Okay? Go to your next cylinder and skip it. And then load 4 cylinders. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what comes next. Count says 4 comes next. 4. All right, close your gate. When you pull the hammer back to full cock, the hammer comes down on an empty cylinder. Now, how do we know that worked? Well, because it will cock and fire 5 times and then snap on the 6th one if we got it right, okay? Because it's starting out on an empty one. It's only got 5 in it, you know, and if it comes around and snaps on the 6th hammer pull, we got it. All right, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Here's one. Now, let's see what happens. All right. Bang, 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 click. So we got her, okay? I got back there to half cock, and it's obvious. Yep, okay. I've got an old catalog at the house from Cabela's. And I think it's from 1968. It's one of my dad's. We used to order everything from them. Everything hunting and even fishing, we would order for them because they were before Cabela's, they were before Bass Pro Shop, they were before anybody else, and they were the biggest concern, and you could order everything from them. And I mean everything. They had their own line of reloading equipment, their own line of reloading supplies. You know, they just had everything you needed. Canoes and camouflaged underwear, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, with all that having been said, this gun sold new in 1968 for $17.80. In today's market, this gun is worth the same as any other single action off-brand 22 caliber revolver, somewhere around $150, $60, or $70. You know, it's good. It shoots. Well, let's go see how good. Let's go see how good it shoots, or how good I shoot it. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. How good it shoots, or how good I shoot it. our accuracy. And, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's about right. This guy may shoot a little high. My point of aim was here, and we're all in there now, instead of all over here. That's not bad. The gun shoots pretty good. Good possum killing, beer can rolling accuracy. Well, see these little guys around? They're a good gun. They work good. You know, after all these years, this gun's 50 years old at least. 1968, I'd have been 10 years old. You know, I'm 61 now, so, you know, this gun's at least 50 years old, or maybe a little older. And it still works beautifully. Still works very nicely. I might even go so far as to offer the owner what this gun's worth. See if he'll take it. You know, he's the kind of guy, if he knows I want it, he won't sell it. So anyway, very nice little gun. The wreack from Herters Supply. That's about the size of it. Like, take, share, buy, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me an old $1 in the Patreon bucket on the way out the door if you want to, and if you don't want to, that's fine. I'll just keep finding old oddball guns and making videos for you. All right then, we'll see y'all.